I'm Melissa Shanahan, and this is the Velocity Work Podcast, episode number 73. This podcast is for attorneys who are running their own firms. We explore tactics, tools, and stories related to pushing past simply lawyering well and into building a successful firm. Working in your firm and working on your business are two very different things. This podcast focuses on the latter. Well, hey. So glad you're here. I can't believe I'm recording this. This is my last day of work for 2020. Feels really good. We have worked very hard this last several weeks getting ready so that we could take this space. And that means we have a lot of things to prep for January as well, so we can come back January and not be stressed out. So that has been, that's been a big challenge, but I'm so glad we did it. And I will say, I heard somebody the other day say they call December the dance because they also like to take some space for the holidays. And they call it the December dance, just how you got to keep grooving, keep moving. It's busy but all for the great purpose. And so anyway, I think that is what I've been experiencing. And many of you probably have as well, the December dance. As I think back to this time last year, because it is my last day of work, so I'm a little reflective, and I was very pregnant. And I think now I'm a completely different version of myself in every single aspect. Some for the better, some, I don't want to say it's worse. It's just like kind of blah, things that I've ignored. So for instance, this year, I've leveled up in terms of being an entrepreneur, a coach, a mom. I've been cracked open this year on a lot of levels. And I think we all have our stories of what this year has been like. And I choose to tell a story that feels positive and feels fueling, because there's always different ways to look at your journey. So I just want to encourage you, as I've been thinking about it, just to have a perspective that's helpful and useful and productive and fuels you in the right direction, because I know that many of you listening to this podcast inevitably are a lot like me, and you can be pretty hard on yourself. And, there's things this year that I do wish I wish I would have done differently, but you know what? I didn't. And I'm going to take all of that into a place of learning and to a place of evaluating and what I want for moving forward, not beating myself up because maybe I should have done something differently. And mostly what I'm thinking about is my health and my weight. My weight's gone up this year. It actually went down because I'm not pregnant anymore, but I just haven't gotten back to myself, and I don't feel like myself in terms of health. So that's something I'm going to be focusing on in the next year. But it's so easy for me, probably like so many of you, to be hard on yourself for not accomplishing the results in a certain area that you wanted. You weren't intentional and you didn't focus there. Like something else won out. And this year, I think being a new mom and running this business has taken the front seat. Plus I need to be a wife, right? So like there's other things that have taken the front seat, and my health, so to speak, has not taken a front seat. So, it's just good to think through, and I've been pretty reflective about this year, and I'm so proud of myself. My husband will say to me, look at what you've accomplished this year. It's amazing. You're a new mom. Your business is blown up. It's doing really well. And that's, stop being so hard on yourself. I'm like, I'm not being hard on myself. I'm just observing. I'm observing what has gone exceedingly well and the things that kind of got left behind. Because I think the more we can observe and not be so emotionally attached to it, not be so angry or frustrated or disappointed in ourselves, the easier it is to move forward. And it is a tendency of mine to be pretty hard on myself. So as I take a deep breath, and it's my last day of work, my focus is going to shift. The new year is a really beautiful time to shift into what you want more of and shift out of what you want less of. I know the new year gets kind of a bad rap because people, it's overdone with goals and resolutions and all that. But you know what? If you're intentional, it's a really beautiful time. So I just thought I would share that. That's not what today's episode is about, but I thought I would share it so that if anyone else is, as you reflect on the year, if there's a tendency to think like, oh, I didn't make this happen, or I didn't make this happen, or I didn't get it together in this area. Okay, just take a deep breath. And it's okay to acknowledge that that's not exactly where you want it to be, but also make sure that you're also acknowledging all of the great things that you accomplished this year. Don't lose sight of those. And in the middle of a pandemic, no less. So we got to have some grace with ourselves, people. Grace is something really beautiful that helps us move forward in the best way. So let's have some grace on ourselves and let's take some space. And at the turn of the year, let's get really intentional about what we're doing. Okay, today we are talking about Friday Wrap. I've had so many questions, which is awesome and fascinating. I've talked a lot about Monday Map, Friday Wrap, and I've gone into depth and into detail about Monday Map because it's the bigger thing. It's the harder thing to get your head wrapped around and actually implement. And so I focused there with conversation, but people have been writing and saying, can you give me some, what is Friday Wrap? I want to do Friday Wrap. And so I thought I would do a podcast. This is going to be a pretty short one because Friday Wrap is pretty simple and it doesn't require much teaching. So, and the only other thing I'll say before Friday Wrap is great to do no matter what, but it is so worth it when you're actually practicing Monday Map because it allows you to evaluate yourself as you're applying something new. And then that evaluation is what will allow you to grow. It will allow you to shift and change and continue forward, tweaking things so that you get better and better and better at the thing that you're setting out to do. So this pairs perfectly with Monday Map. Friday Wrap is something that you do at the end of the week, after your week is totally finished. And there's 3 things that you want to answer. The first one is, what are the top accomplishments of your week? Sometimes I come up with one big one. Sometimes I come up with a few or several. What are the top accomplishments of your week? The second one, what's the top lesson learned about how you operated this week? Sometimes I will put a lesson in here that isn't about how I operated, but then I always add one that is about how I operated because that's where the growth comes in. It's not lessons about the world, so to speak. It's lessons about how you move through it, how you make decisions, how you spend your time, how you operate. So that's what the lesson needs to be, is how, when you look back at your week, what's the takeaway for you that you want to carry forward? So what's the top lesson about how you operated this week? And then the final thing is just to jot down the things that are top of mind that need to be dealt with next week. This allows you to get a head start on your Monday Map. So when you do sit down for Monday Map, you've got these few things and you don't have to think so hard. It's like those were top of mind. You got them out of your head, not to paper, so you can kind of hit the ground running with Monday Map the next week. I do Friday Wrap and Monday Map together most of the time. And I usually do it on the weekend whenever it makes sense for me in my life. But I always sit down for about an hour and I answer the Friday Wrap questions from the previous week. And then I just move straight into my Monday Map for the next week. If you want more information on Monday Map, there was a podcast that I did just a few weeks ago in this December called Monday Map, Double Down on Your December. And that's where I really went into it on the podcast. If you are a member of Mastery Group or a Sprint, you are very up to speed with it because it's expected that that's a practice that we talk about and are accountable for. Okay, everyone. That's it. That was a really short episode, but I just wanted to make sure that I did produce some piece of content that talked about the Friday Wrap. So really sit down, use this because it is a bit of a touchstone that will allow you to grow as you move forward and continue to move in the right direction. All right, everybody. Hope to see you in the sprint, which is coming up in January. If you want information about that, go to velocitywork.com/sprint. It's 30 days to create a really great result for your firm. And yeah, have a wonderful, wonderful holiday break, everyone. Have a good one. Hey there. If you enjoyed this podcast, I highly recommend you come and check out Mastery Group. It is where owner attorneys come together to study this material, apply it, and thus create really big results for their firm and for their life. So come on over, velocitywork.com/join to get more information and get started. Show notes from this episode can be found at velocitywork.com/podcast.